Right, we are live, so.
Oh, wonderful. Let me get the control room up. That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, everything should be okay, hopefully.
All right. Should have a quick listen. Yep. Sounds good to me. Yeah, it's a shame about the whole noise thing. Same thing, like when I listen to you through Discord, sounds fine, but then on the stream, we are picking up noise. Like when you're muted, it just stops, it just goes silent.
Yeah, I know, it's just background noise, but yeah, I don't know. I could mess with it a bit in the Wave 1 settings, but...
I have interest. Do you see, if you go on Discord on the audio bit, do you get movement there as well? Like, is it being picked up on Discord?
What do you mean? The Discord audio bit?
Like where we're talking in the... Oh, hi, Timmer. How you doing, mate? I mean, when you go on the audio settings in Discord, like where we're talking, are you getting noise picked up there? Like if you go to the voice and video bit? Or is it just on OBS that you're seeing the audio movement?
Have a look. No, it's just in OBS.
So weird. That's fine. Something to fiddle with on another day.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, so I'm not really too sure. I mean, maybe I can do something like turn down my mic sensitivity or something, but I don't know how.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll fiddle with it another day. That's fine. It's everything's coming through okay. Other than that,
I'll try and keep it away from my laptop as much as possible.
All right. Well, if you're happy to, shall we hit the jingle and get mingling?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we're jingling.
All right. Lovely. Okay. Well, for anybody joining us either live or after the fact, welcome back to episode 68 of the QRP. If you haven't been here before, my name is Deck, and I am wearing an Xbox 20th anniversary shirt today.
Check you out.
Picked it out. I know, I picked it out just for you. And as ever, I am joined by my sick friend. Sick friend. Always sick, never in good health.
Oh, I thought you meant sick as in like I was cool. Alright, yeah, never mind.
But you're pretty cool as well.
I'm pretty cool. Yeah, hello, I'm Tim, and I'm sick again. So I was literally like sick the other week when I remember mentioning it on the podcast, and I like got over it, and then it just like snuck up on me again, and I've just had like a second wave of like the same thing. It's like it's just a cold. It's just like everything's just all blocked up, and my voice is a bit off, and my throat hurts a bit, headaches, that sort of thing. But like, yeah, it just came back out of nowhere, man, and just knocked me for six over the last like couple days. Which is why we actually delayed until now for the podcast, because hilariously I couldn't speak this morning. Like everything was either a voice crack or just like it's like I just needed to like warm up for the day and just have medicine and have a couple teas and stuff like that. So that's why we're a bit late.
And it is a bit weird, you know. I think it's especially weird in your case because it's like, you know, it is Murphy's Law that you get sick when you need to do stuff, and that's fine. But I think it's like weirdly specific that you get sick in the part of the body that you need for that day. Like on a podcast, your voice goes kaput. You know, when you need to travel, your stomach explodes. You know, you need to do some chores. You wake up and your arms are broken. Oh no,
that's the worst. That last one's the worst. Yeah, it is true. Yeah, it's always very specific to the thing I'm doing. Yeah, because when I got sick like the night before I was supposed to meet up with everyone, you know, I had like a 4-hour train journey, but I couldn't move. Like I couldn't move 10 feet from my bed without shitting myself. So it's like that was the one thing that was stopping me from traveling. You know, like if I had like a headache or a sore throat, I probably still would have come. But yeah, it is quite funny, that, isn't it?
Well, I just wanted to say hello to everyone in the chat that we've got. Obviously, I said hello to Timo, who's here as well. We've got Joaquin back as well. Hello. And as has been pointed out to us, we did take a hell of a week or two to not do the podcast. Obviously, we were here. When did we do it? Monday, but the last 2 weeks has been a bit crazy, and we stuffed quite a lot of stuff into last week's podcast, even with all the technical difficulties. And there was even something else. I'm just going to say it while I remember. I know this is like really like off tempo, but there was a news story that I forgot to go over that I saw in my notes afterwards. It was about reports of IO Interactive, who's doing, you know, Project Dragon, which we've heard about is meant to be this kind of shared world, kind of third-person action-adventure fantasy game. They had a financial report that essentially indicated that they were expecting low profits over the next, like, until 2025, essentially indicating that they're not going to have a game out till then. So I just wanted to throw it out there because we hadn't. I forgot to mention it, and it was actually kind of a big deal because we very rarely know the timeframes for these games that are leaked well ahead in advance, courtesy of Jez. So and that sounds very cool because they're working on the Bond game and that Project Dragon game, which sounds right up your alley. It sounds right up both our alleys, but
yeah.
Long way off, man. Long way off. Yeah. Okay. Well, shall we just do our little intro bits then? Tim, tell us about your week, man. How's the game brain? How's the normal brain? You know, hit me with it.
Well, all my brains have been quite sick this week. So yeah, I haven't been doing too much for the old game brain and everything like that, and work brain. What have I been playing this week? Been playing Apex as usual. It's my shooter at the moment. Got back into that. Haven't played any Tales this week. I was going to, but I kept getting roped into other stuff. I think in all honesty, I think that's about it. Apart from like the little party night we had last night where we played golf with your friends and stuff like that. I really don't think I have played much this week. I've been a little bit sick, been a little bit laid up. So
otherwise known as go insane with your friends.
Yeah. Which I don't mind this game. Like I think it's pretty good. It's quite fun.
Yeah.
Although
nice and basic.
My one gripe with it is the music. The music actually, it puts me in a straitjacket, man. Like I can't deal with it. And especially your rounds are like half an hour easy. You're just listening to like the same loop for like half an hour, 40 minutes. And it's like a 20-second loop. I can't deal with it. Literally can't.
No, it is. And sometimes, like, there's sometimes on that game where I like fly out the map, like I'm out of bounds, and we're on like some ridiculous like Candyland map or whatever. There's like Christmas canes and what else, like chocolate, like ice cream, and I like will go up to it, and I'm like, I'm actually quite impressed how they've managed to make it look this bad. I feel like they've got out their way to make it like they put in HD assets and then just like downsized it to like standard definition. It's like, why does it look? I mean, it's a golf game, so it doesn't matter, but it's just like. Well, like, why does it look like an actual PS1 game? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. There are some points it looks awful, and I got trapped out of the map a few times, and the game was like, "Oh, you're fine to just play from here." It's like, well, no, I'm like inside a rock. Video game, like I'm fucked. I just have to take 14 here, and some of those rocks when you're up close and just like the water and stuff. Yeah, it's actually some of the lowest res stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
but it's good fun.
It's a good time. It's a Games Pass game for sure.
100%.
We didn't end up doing customs in the end, did we, on Master Chief Collection? Because Xbox's download like update system doesn't work.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work. Yeah, like it's weird. I have automatic updates, set to on, and sometimes it's fine, but sometimes it just really doesn't. It just doesn't choose to do it, and I don't understand. Like literally, sometimes we go through games and we're like, oh yeah, we'll play this. Oh, it needs an update. We'll play this. Needs an update. We'll play this. Needs an update. And it's like, well, why do I have this automatic update thing turned on? Like, what's the point?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
So I was hit with a nice 88 gig update for MCC last night when we were going to hop on for some customs. That was fun.
Yeah, it's fun that happened to me because we played on Friday, and I was like, I literally played Master Chief Collection 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, right? Yeah, sure, I'll join you guys. Bang, 30 gig update. And it's like, why? I don't know if anybody has if there's like an official answer to why this is so inconsistent. Like, I actually don't know. I remember, because I said to the guys yesterday, I remember hearing that if it was a recent update, like as in I say recent, like last 2 or 3 weeks ish, the game, the console won't update it automatically. Like it's like old updates it usually keeps on top of. So I don't know, man. It's one of those annoying things. It's no quick resume. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's no quick resume. It's a good one, man. Sorry, I'm preoccupied.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I'm grabbing an image because I just realised we don't have one.
Oh yeah, you can just use the Xbox UI picture I've got if you want to use that.
Oh, I just did Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, that works too. Because... Honestly, you could have just put a picture of like a chimpanzee or like a fucking rodent for today's like with the topics we're going over today, and that would be apt.
Yeah, what was the other thing? The Xbox UI.
Yeah.
Because this picture I've got is just truly awful. But yeah, you carry on.
Yeah, no problem. Well, what I was going to say is, obviously it's good there's no contention with us for the automatic update podcast because we're clearly the superior feature with the Quick Resume podcast. We'll have to see if we can get your chat window back actually, because we've got Timmer and Joaquin talking to us here. Timmer's saying there's no leaks today, no leaks at the moment, and there's no. I reckon things are quite lip tight. It's like that season, isn't it? Where like in between E3 and the Game Awards, so the new cycle is winding up for like November, and as a result, I imagine a lot of publishers are really trying to make sure that boat doesn't leak. Joaquin says, "I follow you guys on Twitter, and I got to say, I appreciate your anti-Halo hate bandwagon. There are some shortcomings on the multiplayer, but a solid game in my opinion." It's been a rough week.
Agreed.
It's been a rough few weeks. It's been a rough few weeks for Halo, but Forge is one of the things we're going to be speaking about today, Tim.
Good old Forge. It's going to save Halo, isn't it?
It's going to save Halo. Everybody says that, so that it must be true.
Mm-hmm.
Forge is going to save Halo.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, then it's in the bin. No. Yeah, we're definitely a kind of we're not really an anti-Halo hate as so Was it Joaquin put it or Timmer?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Joaquin put it. Yeah.
But we're just like, I think we're just fair towards the game. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, I think some people are just extremists in one or the other, but like, we understand Halo's shortcomings, but there's just no reason to just absolutely shit on it just for like no reason. Like, there's a good game there. We've said this so many times. There's a great foundation there. They're just too slow. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And that is a bad thing. Like, it is a very bad thing, and it has stopped me from playing it. I haven't booted it up in like 6 months. But I still like the game. I think I'm just fair towards it, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I think there's a lot of people at the moment, especially with this final push that 343 seem to be doing. You know, with the extension of season 2 or whatever they're doing, season 2.5, and then season 3 in March. A lot of people have like gotten quite ahistorical, and what I mean by that is like people have like started to like go back on the launch of Halo Infinite. I don't know. Like, in my mind, Halo Infinite came out really strong. You know, it's still on like an 87 on Open Critical, say 88, whatever it is. Really solid campaign. I loved it, but I don't think everybody will love it. I think most people would come away from that campaign thinking that was great. Maybe not amazing, but some people won't like it because it's not like a map. It's not a map game. Yeah, it's like it's an atmospheric, exploration-driven open world with good combat. It's not like crammed with progression and
it's not click and load up a level and go from A to B. This is your objective.
I think in particular Infinite's campaign just resonated a lot with me. That's fine. I think we all understood it generally was pretty good, and multiplayer obviously in the first month was a banger. I in my opinion, there were some shortcomings on day one, like the challenge system people were not happy with, customization people weren't and still aren't happy with, but that's all been tweaked and refined. Point being, everybody had a good time for the first month of Halo Infinite, and some people have now in such a state of like anger that they're like, it's always been bad. It's always been. It's like, no. I think part of the reason people are so upset about the state of Infinite is because it plays so well, and it's like you're wasting your opportunity here. Like,
it's potential.
Like, if you had more going on, I would be playing it more. But you're missing your chance. Like Modern Warfare 2's around the corner, Overwatch 2's around the corner. You know. So here's what it is.
Agreed.
But we will swing back round to Forge in a little bit. But yeah, I think I generally, when I'm on Twitter, I do try to just be kind of balanced with that stuff. It's really difficult though. I've muted so many people on Twitter and blocked so many people now around Halo discourse because I just can't be bothered.
Yeah, you make people very mad.
Yeah, and I don't know what that's about, by the way. Like, that's a problem that I seem to have in in my gaming life as well. Like, I got a rage message the other day on for Apex. Like, really? For the first game back we played, and we had a pretty good game, and I was like, I got a rage message, and our friend was just like, it's always you.
It's weird that. Yeah, like we've been playing constantly for seasons, and we're like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, I haven't had a rage message in so long. Although, actually, the other day I did absolutely just like one clip someone, and it was like a sweaty wraith, and you could tell it was like a sweaty wraith, and the person wouldn't stop inviting me to a party, just over and over and over again, like 5-6 times. And I know that all they wanted to do was get me in firing range and 1v1 me. I know it. I know that's it. That. And it was ridiculous. I ended up having to mute the guy, because he just wouldn't stop sending invites. It's hilarious.
Yeah, man. I don't know what it is. And honestly, it doesn't bode well for me, given that I am a therapist by profession, that I seem to piss everyone off that I meet. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's true.
Like, that concerns me a bit. So, like, if somebody sees something that I'm not seeing, I need you to be honest.
It's your hair.
The glasses?
And your eyes.
Is it the hair, is it? I have my eyes, so I can't really change that.
And your voice. And your stupid nose. Your stupid ass nose.
Such a stupid goddamn nose, man. Hate it. Okay, let's hop back into the chat for a sec. Timmer thinks he's got the Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft ninjas on him, so he's laying low for a bit in terms of leaks.
Yeah, that's pretty serious, man.
Yeah, I heard this came from the Xbox Era podcast. I did listen, but I was like, it was like 3 a.m, and I was really hazy when I was listening. But Joaquin has just reminded me here. According to Nick over at the Xbox Era podcast, Asobo is making a Xbox kart racer. Big grain of salt. Big grain of salt. But let's entertain this, hypothetically.
Chief in a
kart
kart.
racer. What was Chief in a kart?
Chief in a
I
kart.
don't know.
Chief in a kart.
I don't know. The more I think about it and the more you're saying it.
Chief in a kart.
I don't know if I like it.
I don't know, man.
I suppose it would just be like in a warthog, right? To be fair, Chief's probably like the most normal one of all of them to be in a car, right?
You said it was a kart racer, so why would he have his own warthog? It would just be like a standard
It would just be
car.
a car. I guess so. I don't know. I guess it's less weird because he actually drives stuff. Like, it'd be more weird having Doom Guy in a car. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
No?
Actually.
This is a hard question. We ask the hard questions on this podcast.
That's tough, dude.
Chief or Doom Guy in a car,
Like Marcus Phoenix in a kart. Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. And if that's the thing, I'm pre-ordering.
I mean, Asobo do good work, so I would be really interested. And actually, more than anything else, I would actually like to see some sort of Xbox multiverse, like IP collection game. I don't care what it is. But,
just a culmination of all the different characters into one game.
Yeah,
A fun
well,
little.
I've got a lot now. Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that.
and because like PlayStation did the All Stars. I think it was called All Stars Battle Royale, wasn't it? Back in the day, before Battle Royales were even a thing. But it didn't go down too well. I think it was like a Smash clone.
Oh, okay.
And Astrobot is has a lot of like multi IP stuff on the PS5, doesn't it? Have you played that? You got PS5.
Astrobot.
Is that what it's called? The launch game where you play as the little blue thing.
Oh yeah, the thing
It's
that
like
helps
a
you like
showcase for the
understand all
triggers.
the features and stuff of your controller. No, I never actually played that. No, I didn't realize it had like cameos from PlayStation characters.
I'm pretty sure it does have a load of like. It's like big on the PlayStation heritage in that game. I haven't played it or seen it, but I've heard a lot of people speak about it. Yeah, and that was Asobo as well. So
Okay, yeah, I'm into it.
because we have spoken about the idea of like a Killer Instinct revival Xbox IP mashup thing. I suppose that's the closest thing we've had, isn't it? Previous Killer Instinct with like Arbiter and Ram, General Ram.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Yeah,
And a
to
Honda
have like
Civic.
just a, yeah, I think that'd be really really cool. But hey, I mean Disney are doing it.
Would you prefer that to a kart racer, Chief in a kart?
Would I prefer a fighter or a kart racer? I think I'd probably prefer a fighter, if I'm honest. And I'm not even a big fighting guy. I just think it would be kind of cool to just have like all these different characters just fight it out. And I am kind of picturing it in a Killer Instinct Mortal Kombat style as well, rather than like a Smash style. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, I guess I just wanted to touch on what I've been doing this week. I don't know if I said I bought Cursed to Golf on the Switch, like a little roguelike golf game. That's been pretty fun.
Nice.
I've already spoke about Mortality, didn't I, last week? I've been playing. I guess the thing I've been playing the most is Halo. I've been playing the Yappening event, which is comfortably the best event that they've done. Just silly, fun shit, which is what I think they need more of in that game. Especially when they're going to make events last as long as they do. It's essentially big team battle fiesta. Some of it is, and then there's other game modes, Skockets, which is like rockets and skewers. Then there's just like team snipers, all in BTB. So you've got like 12 people running around doing crazy shit. rockets and the scockets, rockets and skewers. You start with repulsors as well. It's great. You got people like bouncing the same rocket around the map 6 times. Yeah, just silly fun stuff. Nice free passive items as well. Not going to blow your socks off, but it's just a fun event you can dip your toes into.
Nice.
And I've been trying to get into. You've probably seen me. I've been trying to play Wasteland 3.
Oh no, I haven't. I've seen you on Phoenix a little bit, but I haven't seen you on Wasteland 3. No.
Yeah, I've always wanted, because we probably put 3 or 4 hours in co-op, didn't we? And then we kind of fell off. And I liked it quite a lot. It was buggy.
Because it was buggy.
Right. It was buggy. Yes.
We had quests that literally just didn't work, and we even rebooted and tried for like an hour, and it just never worked. So
yeah,
that's kind of the reason we dropped it. But yeah.
But like I don't know. I'm struggling to it's something about it just isn't sticking, which sucks. It's one of these games that I really want to like, but it's just not vibing with me, and I don't know why. It has all the trappings of something I would like. It's like a deep RPG, the character creator, this XCOM style combat, and it feels so punchy as well. The turn-based combat, but it just isn't sticking.
Maybe it's just the way the quests and the story is designed, because it's very old school RPG. We didn't grow up in that era, so maybe it's just not really sticking. It's the same way I didn't really like the way like Diablo 2 did their quests. I thought it was really, really bad, and stuff like that. And I haven't been able to click with anything. Like another one is similar as Divinity. Original Sin is apparently like that too.
Everybody it's so well reviewed, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone loves it, but I gave it a go and it didn't stick with me. I think it's just the era you're born in. I just don't really think it's something new to us. I've never been able to click with it. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So it's a shame, because I've wanted a game that I can like play on xCloud, and Wasteland is a poster child for like sort of play a new console, hop over to xCloud, easy peasy. But yeah, something about it. Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. Now that you say it, I think the quest design does feel a bit old school for me. It's very it forces you to read a lot of text to figure out where you have to go next. It doesn't. I wish there was just an option. Please, I've got a plebeian brain sometimes, and I just don't have the energy to read through and understand where I have to be.
Exactly.
Just give me a quest marker. Let me follow a thing. If I want to read stuff, I will. Anyway, and also the art style was doing absolutely nothing for me. I actively don't like how the game looks.
Bit bland, isn't it?
I wish they had styled it. Yeah, I just wish they had styled it a little bit. But there's so much I do like about it as well. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Really want to like it, but I just can't get it to stick yet. So awesome. Wow, we've got quite the question here before we get into the honourable mentions for the week. Tim, you ready for this? Thanks, Joaquin. Thanks for this. Getting us cancelled.
Oh, come on.
What are your guys' thoughts on Tom Clancy's name and properties possibly one day being fully owned by a communist company? As Tencent buys more of Ubisoft, it's inevitable at some point. Yeah, I saw about this. Tencent making. Did they increase their stake? Or did they? Yeah, I guess they increased their stake. That's how that works, isn't it? It's a bit concerning, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, just because it's owned by a communist company, is it really going to sort of change the way that the games are developed and sold and everything for like the consumer that much?
Well, I guess it is a good point, because I mean, honestly, the fact that they're like the political affiliation of Tencent really doesn't faze me at all. More their content phases me. The fact that the Tencent tend to have this, affinity towards gacha games and essentially mobile shit, which is, whatever, people can enjoy that. It really isn't for me, and I don't think it's sustainable in the long term. And like, if the market gets saturated, but like, there's only so much of the pie that can be occupied by those sorts of games. So that's my major concern with Tencent buying more. But I guess the wider point to this is that there has been like a big uprising in companies buying stakes in other companies.
Okay.
Like, what happened the other week? Who was it? It was I think it was Tencent and Sony. Either they might have both increased their stake in FromSoft, and together they both own like 40-50% of all of FromSoft now. Like, this is getting more and more common, and I don't know if this is just to, increase affiliation so there can be more like business deals. I mean, it must be, right? That's why people do these things.
Yeah. Or they just. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Or it's just more direct profit, right? From a company that sells shit hot games by the bucket load. But yeah, it's just investment, I guess. It's just, long-term investment. Yeah. So, Joaquin says back to me here, and this is a really good point, actually, which I was just ignorant to. Rainbow Six Siege had map changes in order to appease China and be more suitable for their audience. So yes, this will affect games in some aspects. It's a really good point. China is weird around their how they censor stuff. And generally over here in the West, we tend not to like that. I don't sit too opposed to it personally, as a lot of people do. Obviously, I don't like things being like silly shit being censored, like like having your country's flag in a map. Oh no, it might get shot. Like come on, like. Yeah.
But some things I guess are more up for debate and operate more in the grey area. So it's a really good point. Yes, I suppose that is. We'll have to see how that goes. I don't know the business dealings of these things. Like, can people? Is there takesies backsies? Like,
there must be.
If somebody buys a stake, can they be like? I guess the parent company has to buy it back, right? So is that how that would work?
Mate, I'm really not too sure, but Tasty's Backsies goes as far back as the Bible, so I'm sure it's a thing.
Tasty's Backsies is a fair point. Yeah, well, apparently the market regulates itself. Apparently, so if it doesn't work out and people don't like it, apparently it'll sort itself out.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Let's move away from politics before I get cancelled. All right, honourable mentions for the week. Tim, there was quite a lot. In terms of showcases, right, we had the Ubisoft showcase. We did a little live reaction, even though it was a bit of a technical disaster, but we got through it for Disney Marvel. And there was lots of talks from CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk. Where do you want to start?
I guess we'll start at the Disney thing. We can go over it briefly. We do have a video on our channel, but yeah, we did get some technical difficulties to start. We were both pretty underwhelmed, weren't we, by this showcase?
I was incredibly underwhelmed.
Yeah, I think there was. I mean, I don't think I was expecting too much, in terms of I wasn't expecting Spider-Man, I wasn't expecting Jedi Fallen Order 2, I wasn't expecting Indiana Jones. Really?
Just for Jedi Fallen Order, not the other two. No, just Jedi Fallen Order.
I still think Jedi Fallen Order is big enough. Actually, what I was about to say, yeah. Because nobody really has like marketing affiliation with it, do they? So,
I mean, it's a good point, and now that you mention it, maybe that is exactly why. I think Xbox had it for the first one, so
yeah, maybe someone's got it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting to see any of those, so I guess I didn't really come in with too much hype. Like, it would have been cool to maybe see like a teaser for like a Mando thing that's been floating around since the Earth was first born.
Please.
So that would have been quite cool, and it didn't really turn out to be anything. Not just being a pretty, underwhelming show. They showed off some stuff that we've already seen, but a lot of it was kind of CGI, wasn't it? Not much gameplay. There was like a trailer, and then come in 23, and then that's all you got, and you're like, well, it's hard to get excited for a cinematic trailer and then a random date in 2023 that's not even established yet. I'd say the one cool thing was Midnight Suns being confirmed for this year. That was cool.
That was cool.
But yeah.
It'd be even cooler if it got announced for Game Pass, wouldn't it?
That would be very, very cool. Yeah. Although I still think I'm probably gonna buy that game. Again, I'll see how it reviews.
Say that.
Like
Don't
I do.
say that out loud.
Oh, sorry. I'll see how it reviews, like I do with everything. But it's very foreign to me to buy a game these days, to just splash out like 60 quid, 60, 70 quid. It's really weird.
It's crazy. It's weird how my mindset's changed like that. And to be fair, the only game that I have bought recently was Cult of the Lamb, and that's been like a really big disappointment. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to buy a game again.
Really?
You know?
That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
Gotham?
Yeah, I agree. Oh, Gotham, yeah, Gotham is definitely on the cards. There are some games that are on the cards at the end of this year. It's a bit disappointing that Xbox doesn't have any Game Pass deal with any of them. Considering there is such a big gap, I'm kind of surprised. Hogwarts got delayed, so obviously that's off, and they've got market affiliation with Sony. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a mess show, lots of CGI. The actual announcements themselves were quite cool, but like the game they showed us at the end didn't even have a title. They were like, it's Captain America, this is Soldier, here's Black Panther, it's a Black Panther soldier. That's it. What do I do? What's the game? Yeah. What did I say?
You just said Black Panther soldier.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
A soldier that's in affiliation with the Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, but yeah, it ended up just, again, like I said, it's hard to be excited for it. You don't know what it is. I don't even know what type of game that is. I don't know what it's called. I don't know when it's coming out. Great. It was just hard to get excited for quite a lot of that showcase, I think. But yeah, and then I have no idea what happened in the Ubisoft one. What happened in the Ubisoft one?
What did happen? I did watch it. I watched it live. They started out with Mario's Rabbit. Big upgrade. I already told you I finished that game. I think I spoke about this last week, didn't I? I finished that game like in the last week or two. Give it like a 7.5. Thought it was good, not great. I like how this one looks like a step up and a bit more of a shake up. So I'll keep my eye on that one. It looks good. I think it looks very good. But I might need a bit of a break from XCOM style games, so I'll wait a couple of years, a couple of decades for when Nintendo actually drop the price of their fucking games. But you know,
never gonna happen, mate. If it's got Mario in it, you're never seeing that game drop price.
I know. He's a plumber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with plumbers. It's just like, why is he such a hot commodity?
Don't even get me started on the fact that he's Italian. Jesus.
Christ. And then they showed Skull and Bones. Do you remember that game? Skull and Bones?
Yeah, I do. Killer? Yeah, I really think that game is just... It's not going to make a splash at all. Hey. Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for supporting games, but I just don't think this thing's going to drop well. I just don't think it's... I feel like it's been in development for ages, and it's just, I don't know, it's not really doing anything for me. I look at it and I'm just like, that seems like so much work. Like, I feel like that game would be a chore to play, you know? Do you get that sort of vibe from it?
Yes. It looks like a Ubisoft. It looks like Ubisoft open world map game, but you're a boat. You play as a boat.
Yeah, but it just looks like overly complex because they're just like, it's so realistic in the ship, and you control all 600 ropes on the ship. It's like, well, fantastic. Like, this is giving me anxiety. I don't want this. So yeah.
And like a golden opportunity to become the de facto pirate game, I think. See, it has its own thing. I don't think he's going to really challenge them for what they're trying to do with the sandbox kind of exploring approach. I think if somebody went for like a progression-heavy pirate game, if it was like a Ubisoft and it was fairly run-of-the-mill market tested, I think it would still get a lot of traction. Run around on islands, a bit of third-person gun action, sword action, and then you play as a ship. Progression, upgrade your guns, yada yada yada. I think that would be popular, but they haven't. They've just totally forgoed the walk around on land bit. You play as a boat, and you don't share boats with your friends. You all have your own boat. I don't know if that's just missed opportunity to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I feel like it could have just expanded on where Sea of Thieves lacks in terms of like combat, like on ground combat and stuff like that, and maybe some storytelling. I mean, obviously Sea of Thieves has gotten better over the years, but yeah, I don't know. It's just not doing anything for me, like at all, personally. But
Agree. Chet's telling me that we're roboting. Hang on. Are we back?
Yeah, you roboted for a bit. I think you had a bit of a lag spike. I just kind of let it play out because I just thought you'd come back in like 10 seconds, and you did. I just think you had a bit of a lag spike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, I think we're
now.
back.
It was only on your end because everything seems to be running smoothly, and now you're fine again. So
Great. That's fine. It's so weird. I even got I got a little adapter to plug an Ethernet cable into my Mac because Macs don't have
oh yeah, I got the same thing. Yeah.
inputs. Yeah. That shouldn't be happening. Our viewers deserve the best, you know? And they're not getting it. So what I put after that, I can't remember. There was a lot of... I feel like I'm missing something for the rest of the Ubisoft show. There was definitely more in the middle that I'm blanking on right now. But they closed out with a big Assassin's Creed segment, obviously. And
Mirage.
man, this was... It was very confusing. Mirage got leaked a couple of weeks back, so we knew that something was called Mirage. Mirage. But I'm like dead confused. I zoned out. Like, I actually zoned out because they announced like 6 Assassin's Creed things. They announced 3 project names. They were like, there's Project Hexy, there's Project Red, there's Project, and I was Projective something else. Like, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to read up on the details again, but I'll need to because I'm sure some articles would have made it a bit clearer. But it does seem like there's a game in, I think it was in China. There was Mirage, which was I think it was it Baghdad? Someone will have to correct me again. Somewhere in the Middle East, I think. Which was like a return to roots it was meant to be. That's the leaks anyway. Yeah, so a lot of Assassin's Creed. Like, where's your interest level with Assassin's Creed these days?
Oh, it's quite small. I'm going to be honest. I got Valhalla mainly because I wanted a bit of a technical showcase for my console, and I was like, let's just see what it looks like. It was the best looking game out, when these consoles launched. So I did splash out and get it, and by no means was it a bad game. But as with pretty much every Ubisoft game I boot up, I don't complete it because its story and quest design can never keep me interested for the insane length that they go for in their games. That like, if you're playing like an RPG of any kind, whether it's like Watch Dogs or like Assassin's Creed or anything, you're kind of looking like minimum of like 30, 40 hours probably for the campaign. And there's so much side stuff, like to the point your map is just so cluttered. It was just a bit daunting for me. And Assassin's Creeds have always been like that. I tend to buy them, but I tend to not really do anything with them. So I think I'm just going to put the addiction away, maybe. Not that high.
Just hop in, kill a couple of boys, and call it there. Yeah.
Yeah, like I tried Origins as well, and again, I quite liked Origins, but it's just, I don't know. They could never hold my interest long enough for the entire length of their campaign. And I mean, I think you can kind of speak for that as well. I know you completed Valhalla, but you did say at certain points you really wish you were playing another game, and like you just set yourself the task to complete it, and you just grind through it. Yeah.
It's an achievement. I'm quite like I put it on my CV for sure. It's on my resume.
Yeah, no, I'd put it there, 100%.
And I will say this is not a dig because I think this is increasingly normal. But like we regularly prod Tim for his
How? No,
difficulty
no, we're
has
not
in
doing
finishing
this.
games. Hang on. No, it's okay. It's okay. Like, that's normal. I think that's normal these days to like not finish, because like especially with how bloated games are getting, and obviously Assassin's Creed games like don't really count here because they're fucking endless. But I think it does speak to like how people generally feel about these style of games. That a lot of people play them for 15 hours and then are like, I'm not doing this for another 45 hours.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah. But I mean, hell, for someone who buys one game a year or a couple games a year or something like that, and you know, you're a little bit older, maybe you got a family and all that, like, mate, Assassin's Creed is ridiculous value for money if you enjoy that type of game as well, and you just chip away at it slowly. Like, it's insane, the value for money for that game. So, you know, I think it just appeals to different people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing I kept saying, like, you know, everybody like laughs when I say I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla for 70 hours. And I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I'd give that game an 8 out of 10. It was really solid. I always say it dragged on for too long. But I just found myself, like, if I had time, like if I just wanted to chill, it became a cozy gaming game, you know, like if I had a podcast to listen to, or I just had like a couple of hours where I didn't really want to sweat out in a PvP game. It's just very easy to load into. It's very pretty. Like, the music was really good, and just like kill some boys, you know, get some better loot. It's just very easy to go into, and I think they excel at. There's a reason they still sell really well. People, they're very market tested, and they're very easy. The barrier of entry is very low. So,
yeah. Agreed.
Joaquin says, what are your guys' thoughts on Matt Booty giving an Xbox Studios update? I think the coalition helping Undead Labs sounds interesting. I think, did we touch on this a little bit last week?
I'm pretty sure we talked about yeah. Well, no, we talked about like studios helping. No, we talked about just the whole topic of just studios helping out other studios, and like, should you be worried when you see that, and should it be frowned upon or whatever, and stuff like that.
Okay.
We just went over the thing as a whole. I don't think we specifically talked about Coalition and Undead Labs. No.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. I felt like, because I listened to that whole interview with Matt Booty, and we spoke about that, and he touched on Fable when he said, I want to show this, and Fable and Playground were like, no, you will not. So that whole interview, and I think one of the things he said was that the coalition are helping Undead Labs, which is news to us, which is great news, because Undead Labs has always missed that level of polish and refinement that really, I don't know, they should have had for State of Decay 2, I feel.
Yes.
I'll let it slide because it was only their second game, but they did upsize, but they were a first party studio at that time. It was just really missing that level of polish that I think a first party studio should have had.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I think we're both in agreement where State of Decay 2 definitely could have used a little bit more time in the oven. There's some great ideas there, and hell, if Coalition can help sort out their shooting and stuff like that and incorporate, because did State of Decay have like a cover system in it? Could you like duck behind things and stuff? Like
I don't know, actually.
I can't remember, but like that, like those sort of things, like Coalition can definitely help with, like, and just polish out their game. Like I think the ideas that State of Decay had and Undead Labs and stuff like that were fine on paper. I don't think that was their issue. Just polish and proper co-op. Give me proper co-op, or fucking I'll burn your studio to the ground.
Right, yeah. Or at least if you are going to do some tether system, make it very, very big. If you've got a massive open world like that, you're like, oh, it's so silly. It's like the whole, it's like, it's the thing with Halo as well. And like they've said it's really big, but it's like something tells me it's to do with the Xbox One performance and everything. But like, I don't see a rationale from it from a design angle. It's like, if I want to stay close to my friends, I will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand it from a limitation and a performance angle. Anyway, yes, big thumbs up. Coalition, you can go back and watch our tier list video that we made, and Coalition are like, I think we put them at S tier. Amazing studio. Everybody's excited to see what they're doing next. Whether that's, their smaller new IP that they're doing, or Gear 6. Everybody's excited to see what they do next. So that's good. That's great. They are wizards with Unreal Engine. So, and Hive Busters was pretty good. Pretty good.
It was.
Right. Let's get the ABK stuff out of the way. New Zealand has lengthened, I guess, their probe. They want a more in-depth probe, and that means that's going to be their next decision, their next update is going to be on November the 11th. So this is going on for even longer. Whatever. This essentially means it won't happen at this side of the year. We in a podcast a while back, there was some whispering around the industry that, actually, this is moving quicker than maybe everybody thought it might do. But now there's kind of a lot of international interest and there's a lot of probing going on. So probably summer 23, just like Xbox said in the first place, or June. I think they said June 23 was the estimate.
Yeah.
Although, Tim, I was having this thought when we were watching the Disney showcase, and how much Disney own. Have you ever...
Scary.
Did that cross your mind? Did that cross your mind when we were watching that showcase?
Oh, it crosses my mind all the time. They own a ridiculous amount of stuff, yeah.
I'm in constant fear. I'm in constant fear that I'm next.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you are. They already own you. I'm convinced. I think they might claim your child come November.
Yeah,
just kick down your door and claim it. Yeah, man.
Mouse.
It's super scary. They have a lot.
Because when we were watching that, I was like a couple of IPs came up that I was like, oh yeah, God, I forgot this is under that banner. The fact that Marvel's still under it is kind of crazy now, because that's one of the biggest properties in the world, with the cinematic universe and everything. Like Alien was there, Tron was there, all of the Star Wars stuff. Like Indiana Jones wasn't there, but obviously that would be part of it as well. It's like all the LucasArts stuff. It's just like, oh my God, and like the sheer breadth of IP that Disney owns just makes me think there's not a single chance that Xbox's purchase here is going to be like... I understand the probing. This is their job to figure out if there's anything nefarious going on. But like, come on.
Yeah.
Disney owns like 40% of the creative IP in the across the world. Like it's nuts. You can't be doing this now. You can't. Like, I know Disney pays you off and everything, but it's just nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think about it that way, yeah, it's tiny in comparison, isn't it? Yeah. It's ridiculous. Oh, I sneeze.
Timmer says in the chat here, 3 of the 5 top brands in the world are owned by Disney. That is just ridiculous. All right. Let's move into the news then. While Tim blows his nose. It's rough.
I needed to sneeze and it didn't come out.
That sucks.
It's the worst.
It is the worst. Although the opposite end of that spectrum is 4 to 5 back-to-back sneezes, and as you told me yesterday, that's not ideal either.
Any more than 2 sneezes, I get so angry. I hate it. I'm so done with this.
Like, I understand, like, it's not pleasant, but the fact that it takes you to anger, I think, is quite interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm just done with it. I'm done with my body whiplashing itself after 2. Like, just stop. Yeah. Like 3 or 4 is just obnoxious, and I just start getting irritated. Yeah.
That's fair enough. I can't argue with that. Okay, let's move into the news. There ain't that many news stories, but what we do have is quite big, and I think there's some really good and important conversations to have here. So I'd be interested to hear if there's anybody in the chat, if you have anything to say about these as we go through them. I know there's some questions that people have asked, some things that people put in the chat that are relevant to some of these questions, particularly pertaining to Jim, Crying Ryan.
No.
I promised myself I wasn't going to say that, but when I saw it in the chat, I was like, it's too good to not say, so I'm already breaking promises. So, and also, if you're still here, if you're watching us live, hello, or you're watching afterwards, if you could hit that like button, that would be really lovely. Consider subscribing. We do this every week. We do some extra stuff as well, if you're lucky, if you behave. So, that really helps out if you could do that. Tim.
Yes.
There is a certain arcane game, isn't there, that we would like to play very much.
Uh-huh.
What if I told you the exclusivity deal for that is not coming to an end in the next week, as it should be, as promised, and in actual fact is being extended another 6 to 12 months. How would that make you feel? Hypothetically. We lost him.
Is it actually?
It's difficult.
Well, I knew it wasn't coming.
It's a trying time.
But
okay. So there's no official confirmation. It's more that PS Plus has added Deathloop to their lineup for this month.
Yeah.
And the Game Pass lineup for this month does not include Deathloop, from what's been announced. So, and I can't think of a single time that we've had a shared game across both subscription services. And that includes games with Gold or PS Plus before it was the Game Pass clone that it is now.
Yeah.
And that's a bit sad.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously that's very sad. I'm just hoping it's not another 6 to 12 months. I mean, any delay sucks, but I just hope it's maybe just another month or two. I still want it this year. If it's not this year, I'm gonna be so mad. I think I might eat something I shouldn't, like a deodorant
out of comfort
can.
Or out of anger.
No, out of anger.
Oh my god!
Something I shouldn't physically eat. Not like a burger, like a greasy ass burger, like an object I shouldn't be eting.
It's like a form of self-harm. Cry
exactly.
for attention.
Protest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, and I mean, even saying it out loud, it's so stupid. It's just oh man, I really hope we get it this year. It's we own them. I don't, you know what? Xbox own the studio. I'm so mad. I just want to play it. It looks fun. It looks like a really fucking fun game, and I'm really annoyed.
It'd be perfect. Right now, that game would be perfect for me.
Yeah, because it's such a fucking dry spell, because everything's getting delayed under the fucking sun. And, it would have been so nice to have this, but...
Yeah, and it's going to be brilliant when it gets crammed into, March of 23, when there's... because, of course, there's only 364 games releasing next year, and this will be the 365th, for the full slate.
I think I literally have to fucking quit my job to play all the games next year, and then Deathloop comes out. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to give Deathloop the time of day when some of the stuff that we're looking forward to comes out in 23.
Yeah, it's like they did it on purpose. This feels like a fucking personal attack. That's the worst part of this. Can you how confident are you in swapping between scenes on OBS right now? Because I really want to just show that cat that I've got in the notes. It's just perfect. Yeah. How it makes me feel.
Let me see how this will go.
Okay. If you're an audio listener, sorry, we are wasting your time a little bit, but we're trying to go up. We're trying to go up in the world. We're fiddling around with OBS with some different scenes, and sometimes I make comments on Twitter that I think are really funny, and they're probably not, but I don't know. It just makes me laugh.
You're a funny guy, dude. So this is
I try.
This is the cat that Deck put inside our notes.
Everybody knows it's like the screaming cat with a red filter over the top, and he's got such wet eyes.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's literally exactly how I feel. It perfectly encapsulates everything. He's kind of he's crying a little bit. He's tearing up. You can see the cat tearing up as well. It's so much emotion behind one picture. It's anger, it's sadness, and it's it's just not knowing as well.
It's fear of the unknown.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit Lovecraftian. Truly.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, it really is. But yeah,
Because
no,
it's like that was
fantastic.
thank you. Because I replied to the Game Pass Twitter with that like moments after they put up the Game Pass library. Like I scanned it, immediately saw there was no Deathloop, and I was like, no Deathloop. And slammed a cat meme in.
Did you get any?
I don't know.
Did you get any likes on that bad boy?
Oh, you bet I did. Like
Nice.
doing numbies with the 4 likes.
Yeah, that's what we do out here.
So that's going to be a damn shame. Alongside that comes the Game Pass editions for the month, which we'll go over, but I just want to quickly cover some of the things that have been said in the chat. Timmer says, do you think we will get numbers for Deathloop when ZeniMax Europe issues its financial statements this month? It'd be interesting to see, to know whether the game was a success or not. There's also no DLC for Deathloop, which I find odd. In terms of the financial statements, can't really speak for that, Timmer. I'd like to hope so. In terms of the game being a success, I would quite confidently say no.
What, Deathloop being a success? What?
Yes, in terms of financial reports, like if ZeniMax, I would say I would quite confidently say no, that game was not a success for a handful of reasons. The marketing was very confusing for a long time. I'd say they pulled it together in the last month to actually make sense of what the game is. But if you're a bystander, not a chance you know what Deathloop is, like what that game means.
It's just weird.
Maybe some of the
did the similar thing with Redfall as well. Like they just really don't know how to sell themselves. They're like a perfect. They make like amazing games, and then they just don't know how to sell it. They just turn up and they just like botch the interview. Like even though they're like perfect for the job.
I know, it's crazy. I was watching. I was talking to Beth about this. I was just like looking for games to play there on Game Pass, which was like, oh, maybe something scary would be good, coming up to Halloween and everything. I was like, you should play Prey. That's not a horror game, but it's spooky for sure. Like it's very atmospheric. You should play Prey. I was like, let's watch the trailer for it. And she was like, I'm not playing that. And it's like an action game that they market it like a COD game. You're like running around like pumping aliens with a shotgun, like launching fire pillars into the sky. And it's like that is not what Prey is. Like you can do those things, but they just can't get their marketing to capture what's special about their games. So I think you're right. Like the marketing struggled. Sorry, man. And it was PS5 only. I think it wasn't cross-gen.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. No, I was just gonna agree with your point that just Arcane just do that. Yeah. And the fact that it's only been on one platform for this long as well, rather than being multi-plat. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, it's sad, and I don't know. I feel like there's only so many punches Arcane can take before, like, I'm hoping someone just doesn't turn around and just be like, "Well, I'm sorry, but your games just don't make money," because it would just be such a shame. Because it's just like, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's very weird.
Well, it's like for sure if Xbox had, which is one of the reasons I'm so glad that Xbox did buy Bethesda, because if they hadn't, for sure Arcane would have been on the chopping block for Bethesda or for ZeniMax, to get rid of. And that's frightening. And I think Game Pass is going to serve their games really well. To be fair, now that Deathloop is on PS Plus, maybe it sees a big boost in players, and that would be a really interesting bit of data to have, because from what I could tell, Prey, like Dishonored, I think was probably still their most popular IP, but Prey very much slid under the radar, and then had like a big resurgence when it got added when Xbox bought Bethesda, and it got frame rate boost, particularly the frame rate boost. People love that, obviously. Loading screens were, I think it got optimized, so loading screens were like, got a bigger upgrade with Series S and X. And it was put on Game Pass. Yeah, so from what I can tell, that game got a big cultural kind of resurgence at that point. So I think definitely maybe could do the same thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'd play it. If I fucking could.
Yeah. If I had a choice, I'd bloody well do it. All right, let's cover these Game Pass games for the month, and it's an okay month. Maybe not for me, but I think it's quite strong in quite a few ways. we had Disney Dreamlight Valley, of course. There's been a lot of interest with that with the casual gaming market. And I don't know if I should say this because it sounds really bad.
Boomers.
I'm gonna say it anyway.
Go.
It's from my subjective point of view, from my anecdotal experience, Disney Dreamlight Valley is a very popular game with women.
Yo. First we tackle communism, and then this. Are you just out to get us cancelled, man? No, it's true. I mean, my girlfriend's playing it right now.
Yeah, my wife and her sister are also going to be playing it. But like, it's known that these sorts of games, like for one reason, Jesus Christ, what have I done? Like, it's for one reason or another. A lot of these simmy building type games seem to resonate with a female audience. I think you can make a lot of arguments for why that's the case. A lot of shooters, etc., in mainstream games tend to target men. There's a reason Overwatch has like the highest male to female ratio, or the most even ratio, because it has really good representation and diversity in its catalog, and its roster. So but I mean, it's known that these sorts of games do resonate with that demographic. So that's good as well. It looks pretty good, to be honest. I was quite surprised when I saw the trailers for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it being played firsthand. I watched the first couple hours. Yeah, it seems fine, man. It's definitely a game.
If you're into that.
Yeah, if you're into that, you could definitely just feel like you've blinked and 8 hours have gone, and you're like, I have a mansion, I'm best friends with Mickey, I had an affair with Goofy. So much shit can happen. No, I'm taking the piss.
While he's serving me breakfast.
Yeah, but there's just, you could definitely lose yourself in that sort of world. Yeah, if that's the sort of thing you're into. If you're a Sims player, if you're an Animal Crossing player, any sort of any kind of those games, you're gonna like this, assuming you don't hate Disney. And Mickey Mouse and Goofy are pretty annoying sometimes.
Yes,
they're loud. They're so loud, and they just walk into your house, and you're like, "Yo, not sure I'm okay with this," and they just start screaming.
Are we talking about the game?
Requests at you,
Tim.
Yeah, we're talking about the game.
Come back to earth, buddy. We are okay. That's fine. I thought
I've got Mickey Mouse coming into my house.
Early onset psychosis. Yeah, no, that's fine. I just wanted to check. Mickey Mouse just comes in sometimes, starts screaming requests at me, and I'm like, "How'd you get in here?"
Yeah, so I stab him and I bury him in the back garden, and he just keeps coming back. You're like, oh.
Then I have to make another grave. I have to bury him in another grave.
Yeah.
The police come round. They tell me there are people buried in my back garden. I say, no, that's Mickey.
Yeah.
That's 3 Mickeys.
Yeah, it's 3 Mickeys. Weirdly, I haven't seen any of my family in a while. It's just Mickey's everywhere.
That's a dad-shaped grave. That's a mum-shaped grave.
Oh, God. Yeah. Mickey came in on all fours. Definitely wasn't my dog.
Which is weird. He's a fucking mouse, but he stands. Why is nobody asking these hard questions? Why is he a bipedal mouse? What's going on? Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Disney, with how much Disney owns, that, if that game has gets a decent player base, they can just add to that forever. Here's the Iron Man update. There's a Xenomorph. Probably not a Xenomorph. Here's Tron.
Yeah. You can see Jack Sparrow in that game, 100%.
He's probably there. He's probably already there. You know
yeah, he might already be there. Yeah.
He's the rum dealer.
Yeah, dude.
Retro Ages chimes in and says, "Well, this got dark quickly." Yeah, sorry, it's we do this sometimes.
Sometimes we go off on tangents. It's not real, I promise. Don't call the police. No need.
Don't.
You don't even know where I am anyway, so I dare you.
If you come in, I'll probably think you're Mickey anyway, so you better watch your fucking back.
Yeah, exactly. We all know I'm pretty unhinged at this point, so I wouldn't do anything drastic.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay. I can see more comments about the big story, which is obviously the Jim Ryan thing, which we're going to get there. Goddamn, I promise we will get there. So let me just swing through the Game Pass games in case you don't know, in case you've heard of any of these, Tim. Obviously, Disney Dreamlight Valley, Opus Magnum, I don't know what that is. Train Sim World. That's big. That's big.
One of the big ones.
Ashes of the Singularity. DC League of Super Pets. Huge. You Suck at Parking. Looked kind of fun, actually.
It did look kind of fun. Yeah.
That's like up to 8 players, so that would have been a good one for last night, but it's not out yet, out this week.
September 14th.
Yeah. Despots Game? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Is that a party game? It kind of the art looks like a party game. Interesting.
Maybe. I've never heard of it. Yeah.
No. And then probably the premier entry for the month on Game Pass is Metal Hellsinger, which is do you know what that is? It's like the rhythm-based Doom game. Really, you've not seen anything about this? That surprises me.
No, I've never seen.
Nope. Yeah, it's a rhythm-based Doom, basically.
Oh, cool.
I think someone will have to, who knows more about like heavy rock than I do, will have to let me know who the band is. But there's a band made a whole album.
Okay, so
for the game essentially.
Apparently, Despot's Game is a roguelike tactics army builder. And it's single player with online PvP. So
I'm sorry,
I don't think you can. Oh fuck! I just closed the tab. A
roguelike tactics.
Yeah, a roguelike army builder.
Army builder. Sounds kind of cool, but that's just not what I thought that was. Okay, cool. Yeah, have a look at Metal Hellsinger when you get a chance. Game actually looks kind of fire, and its early previews I think have been very positive. I think that game's going to be like 80s or above.
Mm-hmm. Metal Hellsinger.
It's still first-person shooter. Yeah, you shoot to the rhythm. You do more damage when you blast to the rhythm. It looks cool. I'll probably give it a go. Even as somebody who doesn't like that genre of music that much, I will dip my toes in. Oh, okay. Tim, it's UI time. Let's do it. So the next, so I'm just going to bundle these stories together because they're kind of one and the same. But we got an update this week, which was noise suppression in party chat. That's in your party chats right now. If you go to the little options bit, you scroll down, it will say noise suppression. I think it's on by default. Is there much to say about this? Really good stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice feature.
I know, because the other day we were playing with our friend, and I did notice, I feel like a lot of people sound like a little bit louder. And I don't know if that's just because the noise suppression is kicking in. Only a little bit, like maybe 5-10%.
Potentially, yeah.
I'd be interested to see someone do some tests on this, because this is obviously really helpful for me with having a baby at the end of the year. I don't want my friends to be hearing, cooing in the background,
Yeah.
So that's great. It's good stuff. Other than that, we have the UI update. They've said it's kind of an ongoing thing. It's due to release early 23, and they're like gathering feedback now. But they have an early idea of what they wanted it to look like, and the general response and reception to this has been a little bit mixed. Chat, keep me honest here. How does this UI look to you? Are you liking this? Are you not liking this? Tim, kick us off. Is this good or bad?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit on Twitter, didn't we? We had a couple messages. I think it's fine, but in all honesty, I would have liked something a little bit more exciting. And I just want like my social feedback too. Like, in all honesty, I think it'd be kind of cool if they just gave the user more control over the dashboard as well, to sort of give people the option to choose what they want to display. You know, choose if they want a newsfeed, like drag and drop it. Like I want my dashboard on the right side to have a newsfeed, and then I want the left side to be my games and apps and the most recent games I played. I don't want the Microsoft Store on there. You know, that sort of thing. Like you can sort of pick and choose and like pin what you want there. I think that'd be really cool. And I mean, lots of UIs for computers and stuff like that have this, where you're able to do that sort of stuff, and just select your own tiles. And I think that'd be cool. Almost like widgets on your phone. You know, how you can customize like your Android phone or your iPhone and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be my ideal approach to the situation. But this just looks like a kind of dumbed down version of what we've already got, that somehow looks more cluttered when I look at it, weirdly enough. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't feel like there should be that many games up there, at least for like recently played stuff, like just hogging up like 80% of your screen. I feel like that could be utilized in a better way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you're so right with what you said before. I have no idea why we don't have more options for customization with this dashboard. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's a bigger task than a lot of us think it is, but considering, like, I'm fairly sure it's known that the UI and the dashboard is built on UWP, right? Which is the Universal Windows platform, and that's what the Windows phones are built on, and they all have these same features where you can like drag and drop and adjust the size of the widgets. And I don't know. I just don't understand, because that would be such a leap ahead for console UIs. But that level of customization, it's not a thing, I don't think, for any other consoles. Like,
yeah,
to be able to, like you said, I could have like a mini activity feed on the right side to see what my friends are doing. I could just have my jump back in here, my games and apps, and that's it for me. That's like kind of all I need. Maybe a Microsoft Rewards pin for me because I'm an addict.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of all I need. And one of the biggest bits of feedback that I keep seeing on Twitter, Tim, is that backgrounds, is obfuscating backgrounds too much. Covering it up, and people want to see like the artwork and the like dynamic themes are coming in now. So what's with trying to cover it up so much? What are your thoughts with that?
Yeah, I just think everything is just too big there. I feel like the tiles could definitely just be smaller overall. Like I said, I don't know why. Like 80%, well, not 80%, but I don't know why like half the screen is just being used to display your last 5 games that you played. Like, really? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you can make those smaller. It's not like people won't see them. Like, oh, what was the last game I played? Halo Infinite? I can't tell because the fucking tile was not big enough. I just think it's too big. And like, weirdly looking at it, this isn't too far off how the Switch UI looks.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. Right. It's just a row of fucking squares. And then underneath it, the Switch has got, like, the eShop and everything that you go to. But those are, like, circular widgets where these are still squares. It's really not far off from that. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I felt like you could just do so much more. Obviously, we don't know what's, like, underneath. Like, this initial, like, homepage and stuff like that. Like, there could be some cool stuff.
There have been some videos.
Okay, there have been.
There have been some videos, and it's I don't know if when you go on the Game Pass app and you scroll down and it's like it's like horizontal rows. You know what I mean? It's like a genre, and then some of them will be like like the background will get covered and it'll be a different piece of artwork horizontally, and then it will go. It's quite hard to explain. It's like that. I don't like it at all, to be honest. This is tolerable, but not good. But when you scroll down, I didn't like what I saw at all. It's just it's just rows of shit. Like, there's just no flavor to it. And I don't know. Do you remember when like people gave the Xbox One dashboard a lot of shit, but I didn't mind the layout of it. It's just there was a bit too much of a focus on TV, and the performance was not good. It's crazy that it's only in this generation that the performance of the dashboard has started to be good. But there used to be tabs on the top, and you could bumper over to them. Do you remember? There was like home, and then there was activity feed, which would be perfect, and then there was store. Like, Can we just have that? Because then we wouldn't have to have a store tab here. We wouldn't have to have a like. Just give a whole tab to Game Pass. Like, why are they so scared of horizontal scrolling? Let's just vertical everywhere. I don't understand.
I don't understand. Yeah, that was ideal. It was easy to just have like you jump back in on your homepage, you right bumper over, you can have a quick little gander like what your friends are doing and stuff like that. So apologies for the voice crack. And then you right bumper over again, and you buy stuff. You look at Games Pass, you look at the store and all that. I mean, one thing I'll say is I quite like the universal search button on the homepage, like at the top, just up on the D-pad, you search something, boom, you're in the store, you're whatever. Like, that's okay.
But isn't that already a thing you can just press Y to do right now?
Only once you're in the store, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But yeah, there's just so much more you can do here, especially when they've tried to be quite colourful with it in the past. It's just like, why not make it customization? And where are the avatars? Again,
oh my god,
I care about avatars, but we had an Avatar 2.0 like whole launch, and then they're just fucking buried within like 6 submenus again. Like, they can't make their mind up. They don't know a direction to pick. Like, do you want it to be social or not? Like, pick one. Have a social tab.
It just feels like, yeah, that's right. I don't know. I know, because I know we're just speaking from us, and we would benefit a lot from like kind of having that activity feed, that social feed. Like I would be absolutely in favors of avatars coming back. Like, it's one of the, if you ask someone who went to PS4 after the 360 generation what they remember most about the 360 experience, they're gonna say like blades, they're gonna say avatars. And now like they just seem to have really gone out of fashion. And I don't know if maybe it's just because they're not like, it's not as easy to monetize now or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
it still feels like a missed opportunity, man.
But even if people don't like it, and it's something that only benefits us or something like that, or a set amount of players, it's like, if it's in another tab, people don't need to go into it. You don't need to use it. Like, I get that it might be a lot of development time and stuff like that for, you know, what they deem people don't necessarily need when they've done like focus groups and stuff. They're like, people don't actually want this, so why would we spend dev time on it? But like, I don't know.
Yeah. It feels like they're still on the trajectory that they were on in like 2015 when the dashboard performed like shit, and they were like, we need to simplify this so that everything is just a couple of clicks away. Like, everything is smashed together. So people don't fuck around with, you know, taxing the performance on the Xbox One. It sounds like they're still on that trajectory when it's like, you don't need that now. You've given us like a beefy computer. Like, it can handle a more in-depth dashboard. You can make stuff. You can put stuff in here, and it will be okay. It won't explode unless they know something we don't, and maybe it will. Dashboard is clearly the most, you know, resource-intensive part of the machine.
Somehow, yeah. But yeah, so don't hate it, but don't love it. I'm a solid like 6 out of 10 on this. Like, I'm not vibing that hard with it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we will see some meaningful changes by the time this rolls around, because it just feels so minimal, and I don't mind the function here. I don't mind having the recently played games just there. You know, I know they're just basing that off data. It's the same reason they have quick resume. Well, hey, it's because they know that most people cycle between 4 to 5 games, and like at one time. So being able to just hop between them, easy peasy, is why that's there. But I don't see why those 5 tiles can't just be collated into like a bladed folder, you know, where you, like, if I had the choice to do that, I would do that, and I would just title it, you know, recently played games, and then I could just click into it and then see them all, and that would clear up my entire dashboard, and it's just one additional click. That's a worthy trade-off for me. Maybe not for everyone, but that's why we're preaching customization. So we can like you're built on a platform to do this more so than like any other gaming. Like Switch, like Nintendo, I don't have the background or the technical kind of foundation to do that like Xbox do, nor do PlayStation. So please lean into that. Please. That's my feedback.
Similar.
Okay.
Similar to me.
2 stories left, Tim.
Okay.
Ending on the big one.
All right.
Second to last, penultimate. The Xbox Elite Series 2 is evolving with more ways to play like a pro.
See, am I the only one that was a little bit confused with the marketing behind this?
Nope.
Why are they calling it Series 2 when the Series 2 already exists?
It's called the Series 2 Core. If you could get that right, that would be great.
I don't know who does like naming conventions for Xbox and Microsoft, but they need a performance review. They don't need to be fired. I don't want to fucking
Jesus, dude.
But
my man's speaking like a fucking line manager over here.
Like what's going on? Everything is so fucking confusing with the way Xbox names shit. And their past has always been like that as well. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I wasn't actually sure if this was actually an upgrade in any way, or if it was just Series 2 that you could do in, spoiler alert, Design Labs will talk about it. But, like, I genuinely didn't know if there was, like, any improvements.
Yeah, I don't actually have a problem with the naming convention here, but I do agree that the way they marketed this was so confusing. No, you're right. You're right. But I don't think the core, like Series 2 core makes sense, I think. But they revealed it in such a weird way that it was like, is this a new controller?
Yeah.
Is this, what is this?
Yep.
I guess maybe you're against the wall trying to market this thing just full stop, like, because you're marketing a downgraded version of an already existing product, right? It's like a stripped down version. Oh, do you know what that is? Have you got to that conclusion yet, or are you still?
No, I thought it was an enhancement.
Oh, okay. No.
Fuck's sake.
No, it's core, dude. It's the core. So it's a cheaper Series 2, but without any of the additional shit. So it doesn't come with paddles, doesn't come with thumbsticks, doesn't come with a D-pad, doesn't come with a case, doesn't come with the charging dock. It comes with the adjustment little tool and a cable. And it's 50 quid cheaper or something, 40, 50 quid cheaper.
Sucks.
Okay?
That actually sucks. No,
No,
I thought
okay.
it was like an improvement over the Series 2 we had. Like they ironed out their bumper issues, or like, improved on like more precision and stuff like that. Just like enhanced it in those ways. I didn't think it. Oh God. See, this is what I mean. The marketing was awful behind it. I'm literally learning new things about it right now. Like what? Okay, great. Well, I guess I won't be buying it.
I'll have to have... No, you won't. No, it's not for us, for sure. It's for people who want a better quality controller, but maybe don't think they could stomach using paddles. And if they do, then they can purchase that separately. They announced, a little pack as well of the stuff.
Okay.
And a white. It's in white as well.
Which is cool.
White.
I do like it being in white.
And they did make. I mean, I've just booted up the Xbox Wire post again, just to see if I can find it, because I'm pretty sure they did mention that that they did mention the difficulties with the controller. That it does break down. I can't remember what they said exactly. It was something to the effect of, we're aware of, we're committed to improving the reliability of the controller, or something like that. So I don't think we're going to get a revamped Series 3. We might do at some point, but I don't think they're going to get that. And and that's where all the problems are going to be fixed. I just think they're going to continually refine this one for the next year, probably.
Okay.
I want to find the wording.
Well, it definitely needs refining. As good as it is, it sucks in a lot of ways too. Literally, it breaks in 3 months if you use it for any FPS.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember. So maybe the Series 2 is getting a little bit of an internal revision alongside this.
Yeah.
I can't find the exact wording now, but I know they mentioned it somewhere, but that's fine. I mean, the second half to the story is, while I look, is the Elite Series controllers are coming to Design Labs, which is great. We've been asking for this for ages, and I'd be interested to hear if the chat or you, dear viewer, have any interest in this. Do you guys have Series controllers? Elite controllers. Is this good news for you, Tim? Are you willing to burn some money?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good news. I mean, we have been asking for it for a while. I recently just bought one though, so like, I don't think I'll be doing it anytime soon. But yeah, I could see myself doing this in the future. For the next iteration, perhaps when they come out with a small improvement on it or something. Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like I'm buying a premium product anyway, and I'm splashing a lot of cash, so I don't mind spending that extra 40-50 quid just to like customize it a little bit and personalize it, because I'm already splashing out quite a lot on the product anyway. It's a sort of in for a penny, in for a pound sort of thing. So I'm quite excited about this, and we've been wanting it for ages, so yeah, I'm happy.
I think like on paper, I can build the perfect controller now. You know what I mean? And that is pretty exciting. But the double-edged blade here is, of course, like we just said, the difficulties with the components and the technical parts of the controller, because that's scary. An idea of like spending for us, it would be like, man, it'd be coming in at 200 quid.
Yeah.
Right, for a controller.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that $260, $270? So. Like, you need to get this sorted out with these breakdowns, because people are going to be fuming if they spend that much money on, especially on a personalized controller. That's difficult. And I've just found the excerpt from the article that I was talking about. So just a quote: "We've heard players loud and clear and have continued to improve Elite Series 2 controllers to be more reliable than ever before. Debatable, with refined components that are built to last. For added peace of mind, Elite Series 2 controllers come with Microsoft's 1-year limited warranty. The best part is that the Elite Series 2 controllers are designed to be fully customizable, so you can play with a specific setup that works best for you." So, yeah, they are refining it. They've increased their warranty, I think, from 6 months to a year.
Okay.
So, I mean, doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Agreed.
Lovely. Okay. What are we on? Hour and a half. Doing well. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna do the thing again where I ask anybody that's live watching, if you haven't already, if you're watching after the fact, hello. Hit that like button. Give us a review on your favorite podcast service, because we're there as well. Go through the effort of getting it up there as well for you. So that'd be awesome. Give us a little review. All right, it's the big news now, Tim. We did it.
Let's go.
All right. I don't actually know. Did we speak about it? I think we did. We briefly spoke about this off air, didn't we? But if you're listening to the podcast, you know what we're talking about. It's obviously Jim Ryan going to the media, having a little bit of a whine and a moan, directly, apparently, in retaliation to Phil Spencer taking it into the public forum, and said that Xbox's Call of Duty offer was inadequate on many levels. Microsoft has offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years beyond the current deal.
Okay.
This is fucking hilarious. And just to follow this up, this is from Ryan, I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer has brought this into the public forum. Microsoft, this is the final bit, by the way. Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle.
Okay. I mean, I don't feel like it's that bad. Like, I don't know. There's a part of me that
Love
thinks
that, mate.
if the shoe was on the other foot, right?
Yeah, right.
A part of me really thinks that they would not be extending even this hand of 3 years had PlayStation been in the same seat as Microsoft right now, as Xbox. Obviously, that's based off my feelings. It's not based off anything.
No, it's not.
But
Yes, no,
based
it
on
is.
track
You could-
record, yeah, they've got a track record
exactly.
of doing this kind of stuff and being quite ruthless under the table, and somehow avoiding public eye for it. I still don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I really don't feel like this is that bad. I mean, it's just one of those, like, I don't get how they expect Microsoft and Xbox to purchase Call of Duty and all the other blah blah blah, but we're talking about Call of Duty, to purchase Call of Duty, and then what, they want it to remain, and I quote, to stay on PlayStation at the highest quality Call of Duty experience. Well, no. Like, if you're purchasing that, you want your platform to be the highest quality Call of Duty experience, with potentially like exclusive marketing rights and potentially like content if you pre-order or do something with on Xbox or something like that. Not content as in like, I'm talking like little cheeky bonuses, but like I don't know. It just seems weird to me, and they're just whinging again. Like, it could be worse, guys. Like, chill out.
I mean, there's so many different angles here, because, you know, you can start from the bottom and be like, well, I don't know if Jim really has a choice to not say this. You know, he's head of PlayStation at the moment. He has to go out there and do what he can to try and minimize the damage to PlayStation. Like, he has to. I feel like, to a degree, his shareholders would have, you know, held a fire under his ass if he hadn't gone out and said to them, like, you know, why aren't you pushing back against exclusivity or something? But at the same time, like, it's unbelievable. I would say this is unbelievable. like, yes, I mean, we can argue hypothetically, oh, you know, is this like hypocritical considering how hyper aggressive Sony have been with exclusive content? You know, do we get the best do we get the best Final Fantasy experience on Xboxes? No. After that, Final Fantasy does have a history, like it hasn't for the last 10 years because we haven't really been given a chance. No. Deathloop? No. You know, Final Fantasy 14, is it? Like, that has still, it's MMO only available on PlayStation still, right? Is that right? Is it 14?
Yeah, 14 is the MMO, yeah.
And more, you know, the list goes on and on, but holding back Destiny content for years, like that, you know, the varying levels of exclusivity. And then, you know, because people will say, oh, well, Xbox started it with, you know, Call of Duty 30 days exclusive. They started. It's like exclusivity is a thing everywhere, and like I don't see like who it benefits to be arguing the chicken or the egg. Do you know what I mean? Like, this happened back with like Dreamcast. There was exclusivity deals. Like, it's always been a thing. I mean, what I will say is I don't like how much it's escalating. I don't like how we escalated from 30 days to fucking 2.5 years in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can make a good argument for full exclusivity, but rolling timed exclusivity is rough.
You know? It sucks. It's just a constant carrot dangle, right? It's like a completely different ball game. It's like, oh, you think you're getting it, but you're not. You know, like, whereas at least if something's just purchased and straight up terms are stated, you know, then fantastic. You know what you're in for. You know you got Call of Duty for 3 more years, blah blah blah. But like, yeah, I think the extending rolling time exclusivity is awful. I hate it.
Yeah, because I think this is really silly, and I guess like it's difficult because we're an Xbox podcast when we're not really going to be challenged on this, but because I don't want to be like knee jerky towards this. Like, I'm wondering if people who are maybe like PlayStation players think this is a reasonable thing to say. Like, because the other side of the coin here is like, with Starfield, like just on what we were talking about with rolling time exclusivity with Starfield and Redfall, if they weren't just called exclusive, if Xbox were like exclusive until 2025 at least,
Yeah.
and then we'll see what happens. Like, would that make you feel better? Would it really?
Yeah.
I think so. It's 2025. It's exclusive for another 3 years. It doesn't, like you said. Like ambiguity is like the killer of confidence, and like it's been one of my biggest adult lessons. I would rather just you not be ambiguous and I get a bad deal. Being on the edge of your seat for a long time for the possibility of an okay deal is so unfulfilling.
Agreed.
So tying it into the overall story, when you're measuring the severity of exclusivity deals versus what's happening here, I mean, Xbox have already, like, this is a rolling thing. Like Minecraft, for example, it has remained multi-platform. Xbox have already said that they're going to try to keep it Call of Duty multi-platform, and we've already spoke about this. But this is a deal that will be renegotiated every time. So when Jim is saying, after our marketing deal, they've only offered 3 more years. That's till like 2028, as is the title of the video. PlayStation still have a marketing deal until 2025-ish, right? So another 3 years. Like, is that really? And then you can renegotiate. Why is everyone so scared of having to negotiate with Xbox being on top? I don't know. It's like, it feels like there's a weird fear around that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's just based on the fact that just Xbox they are bigger, and if they want to bully, they can, maybe. Like, maybe that's just the view that everyone has on them being on top. But it's not like they really have that much of a track record in doing that. They tend to be relatively fair. Obviously, console wars are a thing, and like being competitive is a thing. You need to do that. But yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with just negotiations being had like we negotiate with Sony exclusivity, but we're just in the driver's seat. I don't see why it's so wrong to just have that same situation, but just someone else in the driver's seat. Like, why does it get people so angry? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, no, I guess it's the fact that it's the other way round, which kind of like I find a bit odd, because it's like, if it was PlayStation, it would be timed exclusive by default, and Xbox would have to keep trying to negotiate to make it multi-platform. Whereas Xbox is saying, we're going to keep this multi-platform for at least 3 years after your deal.
Yeah.
And then we can renegotiate.
Yeah.
So by default, it's going to be multi-platform as long as you essentially pay up, right? You stick to the deals. You give us money because we now own this. So if you want to benefit from it, you're going to have to pay us a fee to do that. So it's totally different from, like, because if you think about the last decade with the Xbox One install base being so much less, by default, Xbox had to pay so much more to prevent these multi-platform deals. It's why PlayStation got so many deals with, COD or loads of the marketing deals. I'm blanking on other ones, but we all know there were a lot. JRPGs was a big focus as well. So it feels really strange to me. Joaquin says in the chat here, it's less about what we think and more about what the industry standards are. That's a great point. As far as I know, 3 years is typical for any deal, and adding that this early on top of the current deal is actually pretty generous.
Yeah.
And I think Microsoft had said that. But someone has said that in an official capacity. Someone said that 3 years is above the industry standards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, does anybody want Call of Duty exclusive? I don't want Call of Duty exclusive. I know that businesses are going to business and they're going to try and milk each other of money. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it saying multiplat. Yeah, not at all.
I want it on Game Pass.
Obviously. Yeah.
And I don't think Xbox wants it exclusive. They're just saying you can keep things as they are for like another 6 years. and that's fair. But after that, we're going to start raking in the profits, and we will have to renegotiate. I think like much like Minecraft, Xbox know the amount of money this is going to pull in across all platforms. So I don't know. Feels like an unnecessary knee jerk, to be honest, from Jim Ryan here.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear what everybody else thinks in the chat.
Yeah, why can't we just have Call of Duty for free? Come on. Just good bloke
right,
it, Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to mention, because like Twitter freaked out, like as you'd expect, you know. Oh, they're lying, you know, behind the scenes. And like there were a couple of community figures, would you be surprised as well, who I will not name, who kind of came to, I'm not going to say came to Sony's defense, I feel like it's maybe a bit unfair, but were a bit critical of Xbox after this article was published. You know, oh, they're saying one thing publicly and saying another thing privately. But I mean, we literally spoke about this last week. But Microsoft, and I will read the article, you know, I've got it in Eurogamer right in front of me. Microsoft says Call of Duty will be on PlayStation for at least several more years beyond existing deal. Like, this was said publicly.
Yeah.
So I don't know why a lot of people are acting like all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're saying it's only going to be another 3 years. This was said publicly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's a bit touchy over this Activision deal, and it's getting quite difficult to grapple with.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think people are just any leverage they can grab onto at the moment and exploit it and do that. I think that's just what's happening with this Activision deal at the moment, because it's just so public and it's just so like this sort of stuff happens. Things become quite petty when it's brought into the public eye like this, and it's so focused on media. But yeah, I don't know. I do think he's being a bit bitchy. I don't know. It just didn't seem necessary to just like whine about it. Like it's not outrageous the hand that the Xbox have extended out to Sony right now. You know, it could have been so much worse. And if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd like to think it probably would have been worse. It probably would have been like a year max, or just straight up, maybe they just cut it and make it full exclusive. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't think Jim would be pushing this hard if he didn't know that there was so much regulatory pressure, so many eyes on Xbox at the moment. You know what I mean? So he's like,
yeah,
you know, you better loosen up on this, otherwise they're going to block your deal. You know, they're like kind of bluffing at the moment. They're both kind of trying to play their cards to see what they can get away with.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And so I guess the closing question for this really and for the show is, like, where do you think this goes next? Like, legitimately, if we're now at the point of both these execs pulling out dirty laundry on each other's, on DMs.
Yeah.
Like, where does this go next? You know, how does Xbox respond to this? What do you think?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think anything's going to change in terms of Xbox's response. I think they're just going to be like, well, this is what we've offered you, take it or leave it, you know, because it really isn't that bad. It's not that bad to be like, next 6 years, give or take, it's going to stay exactly the same. After that, if you want it so bad and Call of Duty is just your baby and you need it for your console players to rake in any profit, you start paying us for it a little bit, you know, so we can make profits out of it. I just don't think anything changes from Xbox's response. I don't think like Phil's going to just be like, take it to heart and like be like, oh, I rescind this offer now or something like that. I don't think anything like that's going to happen. I think it's just going to be a take it or leave it situation. Yeah. Like, I really do.
Yeah, and I guess it's just like, because like this has been going on a while now, and it's like kind of heating up, isn't it? You know, like we saw, you know, all of the leaked stuff about that came out from Thank You Brazil about Sony like blocking like using their market share as a way to leverage exclusivity, to block Game Pass. Some people will say, "Oh, it's not a big deal. That's just how kind of exclusivity works." And other people are a bit more upset about it. But we can't really deny that Sony's like one of their main strategies is being aggressive with exclusivity, and that isn't. It's clearly something that Xbox wants to be more competitive in an area, but it's not their priority. Their priority is Game Pass. And so I guess what I think could happen now is I think we could see like dirty laundry being pulled out.
Potentially.
We could really see Xbox going back to them like, well, do you remember this thing that happened then? You're not going to believe what these guys did.
Yeah.
Your doctor will not, his doctors hate him. Outrageous. Game regulators hate these guys.
Yeah, I mean potentially, but then I'm sure both have equal amounts of dirty laundry, so it could get pretty messy pretty quick.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And man, let's not forget the public reaction to Xbox getting one measly year of timed exclusivity on Rise of the Tomb Raider. Let's not forget that.
Oh yeah, dude. Literally almost got cancelled. Yeah. Absolutely
Haven't done anything
ridiculous.
like it since. They haven't done a deal like that since, other than indie games.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does seem, I think, especially, and I always say this, people talk about bias and whatever. I think bias and preference are conflated fairly often. Everybody has biases, so there's no point really getting caught in the sauce too much with what that means. But what we can definitely acknowledge is that because PS4 have had such a strong, Sony had such a strong generation with the PS4, a lot of people favor PS4, and Xbox is doing good work to gain ground with the Series X. But what that essentially means is that regulators, public perception, etc., are sympathetic, I would argue, towards Sony, especially with Xbox being now supported by Microsoft and buying a lot up. There's a lot of sympathy. It almost makes Sony, PlayStation feel like the underdogs, even though they're, still far ahead, even though Nintendo don't need COD to survive.
Yeah. Exactly.
Very, very interesting. All right. Tim.
Yeah.
That is the end of the show. Why don't you whack that jingle and we can have a little cool off period, and we can get out of there.
Right. Yeah, we are jingling, brother.
That's wonderful. All right. That was fun. It was, we did our show on a Monday last week, and we didn't get anyone in the chat, but there's been a few of you here this week, and that's been fun. We'll try and get your chat box sorted out for next week. Actually, I think that would be. I think you'll like what these guys are saying. These are some good chaps. These are good people.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's definitely always better when the show has like questions and people chatting and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Helps spice it up a little bit. So yeah, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. I feel kind of bad. Sorry, Watkins put one last question. That's the last question. Right. So we'll do it to a jingle.
Okay.
This is what we do. What about next gen? Do you guys think Xbox takes COD exclusive on the next console? Their current proposal will carry Sony to the end of the gen. I'll stick to what I said before. I don't think Xbox really wants to make it exclusive. Unless they suddenly take a lot of market share, like I'm talking 60, 70%, in a lot of the Call of Duty regions, North America, Europe, maybe Mexico. I don't think they will. No,
I agree. Yeah, I think they're going to want to keep it multi-plat. Yeah.
Barring using it for some heavy leverage, or barring an outlying circumstance, I think they want to keep it multi-plat if they can. I think they like having, the leverage. They like having it as a threat.
Yeah.
But I don't think they actually will. Yeah. Lovely. Okay, my head's starting to hurt. Are you feeling any better, Tim? Did that podcast get a cold out of your system?
No, my throat's hurting quite a lot. My headache's not so bad, but my throat's hurting quite a lot, and I had to mute so much to like blow my nose. It was unreal.
I think you gave it to me. Like, why does my head hurt?
I don't know, man.
Contagious?
Yeah, I am like that. I can do that.
That's
Should have warned
very
you.
powerful. That's a frightening amount of power to.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, we're going to call it here. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for giving us some questions in the chat. Last time, but I'll remind you, I promise, hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. We stream every Monday. Well, we've been a bit spotty recently, but usually...
Yeah.
Did I say Monday? Sunday. We stream
Sunday.
on Sunday. God, even I don't know when I stream. We stream every Sunday. Follow us on Twitter. And other than that, we'll catch you next week for the next big news. Take it easy.
Bye bye.